The World Cup just got serious and it's go time for the Springboks as they gear up to battle Wales in the quarterfinal. Jumbo's going to parachute back into England next week, and I'm sure you're pretty confident that the Springboks will still be there, right?
The only thing I'm confident of is being able to buy 68 millilitres of that crappy Heineken that they sell at Twickenham. This is all I've got for my trip, is a £1 coin.
Chocolate on the inside.
No, it's real.
Wow.
But no, a Heineken at Twickenham is £5.
Jeez.
So all I've got is
my salary.
20%. Well, you're lucky. You were lucky. So I've got 68 mils to get me through. How the Springboks do is anyone's guess.
Will that be like lukewarm or is that chilled?
Well, you know those Poms, they love it a little bit warm. It's disastrous.
It's hideous.
But I think they've gone a little bit more mainstream. It's certainly in Brighton, though, it was a little
stepped it up.
Yeah, it was a bit nippy. It was all right.
Listen, back to the World Cup. Okay. We've got Wales this week. Obviously, it's knockout time, so win you go. Lose you go home. Wales went down against Australia, showed real tactical naivety in that game. Just your thoughts on what the challenge is this week.
Yeah, so I think it's basically everything's come gold after the horrific start.
Yeah.
I mean, this is exactly the team that Heineken would have wanted in the quarters.
Yeah.
To your point, I mean, they are battered, bruised. I mean, they're in a world of trouble.
Yeah.
A whole lot of injuries. George North at centre, I know he's done that before, but I mean, it's indicative of the kind of injuries that they've had.
Yeah.
And I just think, in the pool of death, I mean, it came to fruition. I'm sure that it was tough.
Yeah.
And for them, to have got through that, they're going to be in quite a sort of sad state of disrepair. Yeah. They're calling it battle hardened, but that's a spin, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just in terms of that Wales-Australia game, Australia have 2 guys in the sin bin. Wales have the ball. They have a penalty in Australia's 22. They try and batter through 13 guys defending a line instead of just taking the 3 points and making Australia defend the whole field with 13 men. I couldn't understand that.
Yeah, obviously hindsight's got 20/20 vision, but it's a little bit different to the Rob Shaw. I saw on Twitter a lot of people compare it to the Rob Shaw hack against Wales, but I think it was slightly different. When you got 15 verse 13, you kind of almost have to back yourself to score,
But isn't that a perfect example of why you shouldn't do that?
Well, it turns out to be.
Yeah.
But, the fact that they couldn't is the concern for them. And we'll be making Heineken in the box a bit happy. 15 verse 13, and you still can't score a try.
Right.
Sure, the defence from Australia was incredible.
Yeah.
But my word, I mean, you've got to be slightly limited on attack not to be able to score that try that you needed. And so I think, that's playing into the Bok hands. I mean, they play a similar sort of game, and then it's brute force, blunderbuss stuff up front. And I just think they're not going to be equipped to play that game against the Boks, who certainly are.
Yeah. My concern about Wales in terms of a threat for South Africa was after they beat England, I thought, geez, these guys can handle high pressure situations. They will take the points, and that really ramps up the pressure on you as the Springbok side. But after that Australia game, you kind of feel like they might waver. You're not really sure which way they're going to go, which I think makes them quite vulnerable.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a couple of reasons why I think it's looking good for the Boks. One is that record.
Yeah.
Sure, they beat us last year, but we had
But before then, it was like...
It's 30-1, factually, 30-1.
Yeah.
Under Gatland, Wales have not beaten All Blacks ever. They've beaten the Australians once, and they've beaten South Africa once. So it's 2 from 33, I think it is. So, they do struggle against the
odds are not in their favour.
Yeah, no, it's not looking good. Also, I have a disposition toward the scrum, as you might have noticed. But, the Springbok scrum certainly hasn't been brilliant. But, hopefully we've gone with Malherbe and it'll be solid enough. But Wales have really struggled. They've got a guy called Samson Lee at tight head, and he just does not deserve the name.
He doesn't have long hair.
And he doesn't have the strength either. And then, their reserve tight is a guy called Tom Francis. Now, just a couple of months ago, he was a student at Leeds weighing 24 stone, which is bigger than me. So he was a fat bastard drinking beer student. They trimmed him down a little bit, and he's a big chunk of meat, but he's still 23 years old.
Yeah.
And, he's a little bit inexperienced. So, they are going to struggle scrum time, and that's a real bonus for the Boks. Yeah. So, you throw in the injuries, you throw in the fact that they've been through hell in the pool that they've been in, the record against us and the Southern Hemisphere sides. And, it's for the Boks to lose, let's put it that way.
Yeah, you spoke about the scrum, the line-out also going to be obviously key with Fourie putting the ball out downfield. Just in terms of our line-out against Wales, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, so that is going to be the big call. I mean, do you go with Matfield or do you put him on the bench and bring him on? So I think Lourdes been outstanding, and every day I'm wiping the egg off my face because I would have left him out there with the Blooming squad for good reason. But he's just been astonishing, and I think in Urban and Lourdes, the Boks have an excellent line-out pairing. I don't think Matfield is an impact player, though.
I agree.
So it might make sense to start with him, own that line out like he has done.
Absolutely.
And then bring on Lourdes. And Lourdes has proven to be quite good off the bench.
Yeah.
So there, probably start with Matfield, own the line out. But hopefully up front, Malherbe for me would be a definite starter, and then you've got Yanni as a backup on the bench.
Yeah. So South Africa beat Wales. Is that the first of three Southern Hemisphere wins for the weekend?
Oh my word!
How good would that be?
How glorious would it be?
It'd be amazing.
One, there'd be no more, hey, Macarena, Dan Bigger. Oh, I'm not looking forward to seeing that at Twickenham. It's very unsavory, but it looks like he's doing that American football sign to the pitcher. So
There's no picture in American.
Of course, baseball, sorry, buddy.
Potato.
Yeah, exactly, American sport. But yeah, so that would be good. Look, obviously there's potential for it to happen, real potential.
Right.
I like the look of Ireland, but they're now waiting on the outcome of the O'Brien hearing.
Yeah.
Lose that. They lost the other flanker to injury.
Yeah.
So they'll be up against it. Argentina on the day can beat any side. They themselves waiting on the outcome of Tertius Bosch hearing. So probably, Ireland are probably likely to win that. But certainly potential for all Southern Hemisphere semi-final, and my word, that would be tremendous.
There's no ways that France could beat New Zealand, right? It can't happen again, surely.
So I did my
Who's
research.
refereeing that game? Do you know?
We don't know.
Be interested to- yeah.
That'll be interesting. So it's gone in the World Cups. It's gone Ireland, New Zealand, Ireland. It's gone France, New Zealand, and
Right.
It's France's turn to win, I'm afraid. But I just think that's going to get smashed.
Yeah.
Rules are there to be broken.
Yeah, I agree.
The All Blacks haven't got on a third gear. Everyone's writing them off and saying they've lost their allure. But they haven't needed to get out of third gear.
Precisely.
You put 40 past Tonga and everyone's concerned that it wasn't a good performance.
Yeah.
Any other side does that and they're World Cup winners.
Yeah.
So no, I think that's a good night, France.
Do you think that Argentina are going to be able to, because they've missed the most tackles in the tournament so far, do you think that they're going to be able to pull it together and play the kind of test match rugby that could potentially put one over a team like Ireland?
Yeah, I think that's the crux question. And what Ireland have done is they've got a really good mix between kick and ball in hand. So they against France, they kicked 36 times to France's 24.
Wow.
So they're quite astute, and I know you love that.
Yep.
But then also 423 running meters to 268,
right,
and 172 carries to 90. So I think they've got quite a nice balance. Of all the sides, they kind of match the All Blacks in terms of that balance. Astute kicking game together with a ball-in-hand game. So
it shows that they can contest those kicks and get the ball back to get those carries.
Exactly, and that's exactly what Frida Priest doing for us now. The hang time, getting us contesting those kicks. So, yeah, will Argentina be able to handle the Irish game?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's probably the most uncertain of the semis in my mind.
Yeah, surely a lot of pressure on Ireland as the only real sort of Northern Hemisphere challenger left.
Big time.
Wow.
And there will be pressure.
Oh, it'll be glorious.
Because World Rugby, after England's going out in the pool stages.
That ref's going to be sweating.
either that or Rich.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe he can buy you a few beers. Nice one, Tank. That's it for this week, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. Make sure you go and log in your Bok ratings on the website after the quarterfinals and stay with us as we head to the semis to watch the Boks. Until next time, ciao.